always all geared up, ready to help with anything.
And I'd like to see the TDY support group be a little bit more, I don't know, when my daughter went there last year, she was in 5th grade last year, she thought it was mostly games, she didn't really get it was that beneficial, and I'd like to see it become something more.
Do you have suggestions on what it could cover?
Well, I mean, like, she just didn't think, nobody was really talking about it, like, we have deployments every year and have like in their heart, so I want a place for her to be able to talk about it, and like, I know there's a lot of resources out there that we can get to use in the classroom. She just thought it could use the games, like, instead of 7-Up and stuff, and so.
Well, we're welcome to any suggestions that you have.
Because I thought it was a great idea when we moved here and I saw that, I was like, that's great, like, the school actually cares, they have a program that just not needed.
Okay, well, I can talk to our coordinators within that area and make sure that we're meeting all the.
Right, and we have resources that I can
Honestly,
share.
I've been in, I think, 3 or 4 times this year during when it's going on. I've yet to see it 7. Not saying it hasn't happened, but I've seen, you know, the activities that they're doing are involved with the deployment process.
And this
so
was
far.
last year.
Sure.
And my son is in kindergarten this year, so I don't think he's eligible to go until 1st grade.
Right.
So I don't know what it's like, but I know we'll be here.
Sure.
So and I'm actually going to go in this Friday. We're celebrating month of the military child, so we're going to do picture frames and talk about military families. So.
Now, the TDY support group just for kids whose parents are deployed or for any child that's
I think that was another issue. Like my daughter said that like they don't exclude. Like anybody can go to it, whether they're military or not. And so like kids would go to it just to get out of class that weren't military.
There's not much class they're getting out because it starts primarily before school. $2 million right now, all of our kids that are in it are.
And again, this was last year. Different group of kids.
Sure.
Does the parent have to be TDY for them to go?
That's what we currently have, but I don't know necessarily that that's the case now.
Before I read the sign yesterday, or I was up there yesterday, it didn't seem like your parents had to be. It just seemed almost open military.
Yep.
So I didn't know. It wasn't clear.
Okay. Well, we will get stuff out to make it more clear. Not a problem.
Is there a capping issue, grade capping issue, or busing issue, like, you know, where you, because I know in previous assignments we've been in, you go to, you buy a house or you rent a house in a certain area because you want your kid to go to this particular school. You go to register for that school and they go, oh, they can't go here because we're capped out on that grade. We can't take anymore. We're going to have to bus them to this other school.
We do have that.
Okay.
We do have that.
And I would find that to be an issue. Just saying, I've heard that it has. I've just been hearing other people because I don't have that issue, but I've just heard other people's concerns
I'll
with
give
that.
you an example for this year. We had that problem with 5th grade. We were maxed out.
That seems to be the.
We were maxed out completely. For those of you who are fortunate enough to be at Volunteer, we now have an additional 5th grade teacher because we got so many kids that we kept capping. So okay, we've got enough now that we can go ahead and add another section. But when it is that 1 or 2, and we're talking 29, 30 5th graders in a room, that's too many kids. And I think everyone would agree that. Right now we've got 24 kindergartners in the classroom. That's a lot of kindergartners.
For one teacher?
For one teacher. For
They
one
have
teacher.
great kindergarten teachers though.
We
I'm
truly
in the
do.
classroom and
We truly
like
do.
kindergarten is pretty safe.
Yeah.
Deal with that.
Yeah, we have a great staff. The unfortunate part is with budgets right now, especially what the state is doing to us. Oftentimes our hands are tied in terms of adding that other staff member. That's for sure. It's, we want our student to teacher ratios as low as possible, but in this time of cuts right now, at least past couple of years, it just hasn't been as possible as it has.
Is there a timing that you find out that you? I know it's kind of hard to tell. Do you try to gauge that? I know you try to the year. Okay, who's going to be here the next year? Because I know we've been asked,
Yeah,
throughout time.
and
if
we
you're
try
gonna
to
be
do,
there.
that's the purpose of our pre-enrollment.
Right,
Unfortunately,
right.
our pre-enrollment is not successful at all.
Because we move in August.
Exactly, that's exactly right. And it's the fault of no one, but we don't know until August, and we have enrollment in July. And so when we have our numbers, it is what it is. That's why we added that 5th grade teacher 3 weeks into school. Was that ideal? No. But having that 5th grade teacher in the end was a much better result than not adding it, even if it was a few weeks in for another transition for about 19 kiddos.
Yeah. Just curious.
And I will add too, if your kids are in the Derby district, you should have gotten, I believe they send them home already, a form asking you to fill it out and send it back where you know whether or not you're military. That form is tied to Impact Aid, which is money from the federal government that goes to the school district for educating military-connected children. So if you have not gotten one of those and you're in Derby, yes, I would say
everyone
most
went
people
through
should
an
have.
outstanding job.
But I know sometimes people throw those to the side and they really need those back to get an accurate count of how many military-connected kids are in there so that they can turn those in and then in turn receive some additional funding that goes into the district. It just goes into the general fund. But, you know, then again, when they need to hire extra teachers, there's, you know, a little bit of extra money coming in for things like that.
We were at P.A.S.S last year, we can join her this year, and I was very disheartened to see that there was no alignment between the schools on what each of the grade levels were supposed to do.
In
Is that
terms
something?
of, tell me what you mean.
My son was in kindergarten at P.A.S.S, and the kindergartners here were doing 3 times, like he had to have 80 sight words by the end of the year, and kindergartners here at close to 200. He read 0 books at El Paso, and they were reading 2-3 books a day here. And so when he came in as a 1st grader, he was well beyond below what they were accustomed to their 1st graders being. So I was really curious if that was something that's being addressed district-wide.
That's a good question. And this is my 1st year in Derby School District. I've been a principal and superintendent in other districts in the state. In terms of the alignment, it is my understanding. Like I said, I've only been here a few months, so you know, we all use the same grade cards and use the same standards and have the same benchmarks. We have the same exact math curriculum, the same reading curriculum. In terms of what the expectations are, that may vary a little bit, but the same things are supposed to be taught.
From one state to another?
No, from one school to another within Derby School District.
Oh, within Derby.
Yes. Like we all use everyday mathematics, for example, as our math program. And it's that way with every subject. So that's the intention. It may not always be followed through, apparently.
But Mary brought up a good point too. Impact Aid, that also covers DoD civilians, Guard and Reserve if they're on Title X the day that those are due. So if you have other friends, if you haven't filled theirs out, give them a nudge, send them back.
To kind of get away from Derby, as far as the Wichita Public Schools, have we heard anything about redrawing the boundaries?
Yes.
Choices fairs?
Choices fairs, and I don't have those dates off the top of my head. There's a choices fair in, I believe it's February. If you want to give me your email, I can get you that. They are redrawing the districts. They're opening 5 new schools next year in Wichita. And they are asking for feedback on their website, so you are welcome to go ahead to their website and give them some feedback on that. I know they're opening a new one out off Pawnee, kind of towards Andover. I think there's a new elementary school going in there.
It's actually a K-8.
Is it a K-8? Okay. And then there's 4 more in addition to that one. So yeah, they will be redrawing those. So if you have concerns, I would definitely go ahead and put
My only concern right now is there's no information out there about the schools they're planning on opening. Like our daughter is transitioning to middle school next year.
Okay.
And we would be in the area for the K-8, but there's
Okay.
no information for us to base a decision off of.
Okay.
So do we look at other middle schools instead, or, you know, how long are we supposed to wait for them to publish information?
Let me, yeah, come and chat with me and I'll get your contact info and I'll make some calls and we'll find out.
Other questions? Okay. All right. Well, I suppose the good news here is that
you know, when you have problems, right, the room is filled with people with pitchforks and slingshots and other sorts of things, implements, and that's not the case here tonight, so that's a good sign, in my opinion, that things are, by and large, going well when it comes to our relationship with the local schools. So that's good news. You also saw, however, that, you know, we do have some key points of contact that are here for you. Angela is, you know, again, your advocate, and she's taken on some of these issues and is happy to take on more. That's what she's here for, is to help answer and address questions and issues and concerns that you have with the local school districts. And again, thanks very much to Mr. Corby for coming and answering some specific questions specific to Wyantier Elementary as well. So I guess at this point, if there are no further questions, I would just thank you for your attendance and very much appreciate your concerns and voicing those. And once again, if you would like to participate in the P.A.S.S program, or if you know others who would, please pass along that information, and we'll try to make this a robust new program that serves parents' needs as well as those of our children. Okay? All right, well, thanks very much and have a great evening.